Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutas. That's right, friends. This is Retire Your Way with financial advisor Dale Soutas, founder of Soutas Financial right here in California. I'll give you the crowd today. I was wondering if I give you the mo,
I'm broadcasting,
or if I just give you the rim shot. But I'll give you all of it. How you doing, Dale?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Spike?
Good. I've got, as you can see,
such a weirdo.
Little playful
Yes,
today.
yes.
But retirement planning is about living the lifestyle of your dreams, enjoying your hobbies, enjoying your family, enjoying what you want to do. The reason I bring that up is because, Dale, you had another event recently. We've always kind of thought of you as a rocket scientist of retirement planning, but sometimes you're an actual miniature rocket scientist, right?
Right. Yeah. So very simply, our Central Valley Rocket Club hosted a national event just recently, and we actually had over 150 who pre-registered for it from 18 states and Canada. So it was a big deal for us to be able to host that way out in Helm, which is not too far. It's southwest of Fresno, about 40 minutes. And so these are high-powered rockets. I mean, I used to do the little rockets as a kid, and I did them with my kids, but I stumbled across many years ago that they do high-powered, which are they have a variety of ones. Mine is 4-inch diameter, almost 9 foot tall, so they can go up on bigger motors. We get the FAA and Lemoore Naval Station clearance. Clearance up to a waiver up to 17,000 feet out there. So we're talking about some pretty interesting rockets and stuff. But of course, they all know I'm Soutas Financial, and we set up. I actually recently had a club member who offered to paint repaint my rocket because it kind of got dingy looking, with my company logos, and I got my stickers on it. And so we had that standing right there by my little Easy Up, and we also had our Retire Your Way apron or tablecloth on the table we use. And so we had people coming up asking, so how much do I need to retire? And I said, well, that's a good question. It's an excellent question.
You know what? Because I'm always wondering, and it's great for you and I to be in the radio booth, but I see this all the time, and I read articles, and people are curious that, hey, how much do you need to have saved? What is the right number? And I know that I see it in research, but to actually have you experience it with real folks, that was one of the big questions.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the time. That's usually, that's a common, and it's a good question. Think about it. So all I just say, well, how much is in your pocket? But the one asked me, and he's from the Bay Area, so he started off with, do I need 2 or 3 million? What do I need? And but it's like, like I tell everybody, it all depends. I mean, you might have $1 million, you might have 40 million, you might have 400,000. What do you need in retirement? What are your income sources once you stop working? Is it Social Security? Is it a pension? Is it rental income? What are the different sources? And more importantly, in fact, when people come in and sit down with me, they might even have, I have it, recently one came in, he had stacks of their statements and stuff, and they right away wanted to push those in front of me to see. And I said, no, let me go to more important questions. Yeah. I want to know, well, what do you want to do if you're retired? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? You got kids, grandkids, you want to travel, woodworking. Recently, they love pickleball. I don't know how you use a pickle to hit a ball, but anyway, that sounds pretty
Nice.
interesting. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one there.
yeah. You give me that. Yeah, yeah.
Well done.
But anyway, different interests. So once I see, what they're about, what they like, and then I get a slew of people who've done a lot of traveling, and I'm more of a homebody. We don't do a whole lot. We don't have expensive tastes. So everybody's different. So once I start getting that picture, then I can start building out. Well, what are you going to need? What does it take month to month to just pay your bills? What will it take to do the traveling and do all these fun things? And then I start gathering, what is your projected income or current income? What is your, different sources of accounts, bank investments, IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, 403bs, whatever. What are the sources we're going to be using to keep you retired, keep you happy, focused on more important things, and not worrying about your money? So that's not the first thing I jump for. I don't jump for, well, let's see all your accounts. No, because it doesn't make any sense to me until I know what they're all about. So just like
Mhm.
I told one who said, "Do I need 2 or 3 million?" I go, "Well, I don't know. I mean, what? I mean, he's into the rockets, and they're not cheap
Well, I
usually."
mean, and
So,
there's a few other. I mean, are you married? How old are you right now? Do you have longevity
hmm
in your family? And what's your monthly spend? Do you have a kind of a mathematics
hmm
table for inflation over time and how your monthly spend will probably go up? I just so many different
which is
factors.
what we build in, for their plan.
Yeah, but I
Once I
love the
see it,
question. I
yeah,
love
it's a
that that's
good
what's on
question.
people's mind. But unfortunately, it's also how everybody, I would say across the country, kind of boils it down. How much do I need to be retired? Wonderful
hmm
question. I get it.
Yeah, it's a good question, but think about it. Everybody sees online a lot of the, so-called big firms out there and saying, "Oh, if you have 1 million, we can help you be rich." Well,
Yeah, I hear
yeah,
you.
but
I know
see,
what you're saying. Because I know what they're doing. To me, that's subliminal messaging. And it's, if you have $1 million,
yeah.
do you know how to turn that into income? They're basically saying, unless you have this amount, don't call us. That's my opinion.
Exactly, exactly. And I don't do that. I don't care, what people have. I have ones that come in and, there's nothing, they don't have a ton, but they're going to have good Social Security, good pensions. And, one recently or a few months ago, he really doesn't have much. And I can't show him how to move the money elsewhere. He needs to keep it how he has it set up to keep it liquid. And in fact, the account he had for his retirement account was nicely invested to where he doesn't have a lot of risk. It's available in case something comes up and or to do. He's not married. He doesn't have an extravagant lifestyle. And I said, "You're A-okay. Anybody telling you to move this into something else is probably after lining their own pocket instead of helping you. And don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm still here to help you. I'm not going to make a dime. That doesn't matter, but we're still here to help you." And he has several times emailed me with questions, and that's great. I don't mind that. But again, then you get the ones who've got millions or maybe a few 100,000. So who's to say? It
Yeah.
just depends on what you're all about, what you want to do in retirement.
And what I also like that you say is that you work with what somebody has and develop a plan and a strategy with that. So there's a lot
hmm
of folks right now, you're unsure, you don't know, you might even feel silly or embarrassed about it, don't want to talk with a financial advisor. How about this? How about you schedule an appointment and you sit down with somebody like Dale and we'll help you figure out your numbers for where you're at right now. Maybe
hmm
you're a lot closer than you think. Maybe you already won. Maybe you're at the finish line and you're going to work and you don't have to. Let us take a look at what you've got and help put together a plan for you. Call 833-856-1382. When you dial that phone number right now, we have people standing by. They'll schedule an appointment for you. No cost, no obligation. Dale always said, leave your credit cards at home, leave your purse at home. And even funny, like we get it. You might want to come in with your box or your folder of statements. Dale's probably going to push that back to you over the desk and say, let's have a conversation first. Figure out what you
Yeah,
want.
just get to know each other.
Yeah, let's get to know each
Yeah.
other. Now, did your rocket
Um,
land exactly where you wanted it to, Dale?
Well, let's see. It was a 4-day event: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I
Mm-hmm.
went the
Mm-hmm.
first 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, I shot a small rocket. It was only 5 foot, about 3-inch diameter. It went about 4,200 feet and floated about a quarter mile away. Not big. We were able to go get it.
Okay.
The come Friday, I wanted to launch my big rocket again, and I'm using a motor that I've used before, and it only took it 10,000 feet before and landed right in front of us. This time it took off a little bit angled off to the east. We didn't see it. And I didn't turn the GPS tracking on because I thought, nah, I don't need it.
Oh,
It's
what
going
do
to
you-
come down nearby.
That's an
So-
automatic. You've got to have the
Yeah.
GPS on it.
So part of the fun is you got to go find them. And we had a kind of an idea where it may have been, but we searched for quite a while and couldn't find it. And come to find out the next day, because it was windy out there, the parachute, 8-foot parachute, opened up after it landed still. It was still, and it dragged it about a quarter mile farther from where, it landed. So it was a good, probably at least a 3/4 mile.
So
Away.
I think our takeaway here is when you're flying blind, your
Mhm.
plan can be blown off course. Folks, are you flying
Yes.
blindly into your retirement? And do you have an income plan for your
Do you have
spending?
it set up with GPS?
Do you have it set up with your GPS so we can follow it along the way? And the GPS is your financial advisor who is watching it, monitoring it, planning for it every single year. You can come in quarterly. You can talk to your financial advisor. Don't set your retirement plan out without some sort of GPS, without a plan, and certainly without calling the United States Air Force and saying, we've got a rocket that's going up in the air. We don't want people,
Yeah,
we
no.
don't want the authorities showing up and go, what are you guys doing out here? Have a plan for your retirement. That's the fun we like to have. What are your hobbies in retirement? Let Dale help you design the lifestyle for your retirement. 833-856-1382 is the phone number for you to call. Dial it right now. No cost to sit down with financial advisor Dale Soutas of Retire Your Way. One of the bigger concerns today, and can a financial advisor help you with some health concerns later in retirement? When we get back, right after this.
How do you know if you're retirement ready? That's a question many people ask themselves as they approach their golden years. We believe the answer can be complex and depends on many factors, such as your savings, monthly expenses, and lifestyle goals. At Soutas Financial, we can help you determine if you're retirement ready. We'll work with you to assess your financial situation, identify any potential income gaps, and develop a customized plan that aligns with your goals. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Call us today to learn how we can help you work towards achieving financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial for your complimentary retirement readiness review. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, financial advisor of Soutas Financial right here in California. Would you like your own written, no-cost financial plan for retirement? Would you like to review how you're doing in retirement? Are you a few years away and want to be sure that you can stay and get to a retirement? If you are uncertain of any of these things, give us a call, set up an appointment. It's no cost to sit down with Dale and get started on your own written financial plan. 833-856-1382 is the phone number, or go to the website of his, soutas.com, SOUTAS.com. Dale, kind of a reminder of, as a financial advisor, people think of investments. They think of, the stock market, right? You in there, trading, all of that stuff back and forth. But really, you kind of started helping people a lot with Medicare, long-term care. Is this still a big part of the practice for you?
Well, for a lot of listeners, they've heard our ads over the many years. I used one of the stations since 2006. And a lot of what we advertised back then and through the years was how to avoid so-called spend down. You got a loved one who needs care. Maybe they need care at home. Maybe they need care in a nursing home. They went to the hospital, they had a stroke, they had whatever issue, and now they're at the, nursing home for rehab, and there's no way it's safe, practical to bring them back home. And nursing homes, even back then, were running, $8,000, $9,000 a month, and now the average in California is what, over $12,500 per month.
Oh, gosh.
So, then with the long-term care Medi-Cal program that we've been helping thousands of families with since 1997, when I first learned about it, we had to help them avoid the spend down. And there's no more spend down in California.
I
What do we
understand.
mean by that? Okay, so husband and wife. Husband had a stroke, because I know better than to pick on the wives. I'm married to a wife. So
Well done. Very smart.
Yes. So he has a stroke. He can't come home. He's in the nursing home, needs help with, getting up and down, bathing, dressing, restroom, all these issues, right? So he has to stay. Now, to get on the long-term care Medi-Cal program, that's different than welfare Medi-Cal, he had to have less than $2,000 of countable assets or resources. The wife could have over $100,000 of countable resources on top of that. The things that don't count are their home, their car, most expensive car, let's say, their retirement accounts and personal property, and several little things. So when they're over that $100,000+ limit as a married couple, or the $2,000 limit as a single, we would show people how to protect the assets, spend on themselves first to get under the limit in practical ways. Like I've had ones where, they were paying monthly for the burial plan. Well, find out what the payoff is, pay that off. Mom needed a new washer dryer, get her a new washer dryer, and then spend the last bit towards the mortgage. Didn't even have to pay it all the way off, just put a little bit to get under this certain asset limit, or gifting, or there's a variety of ways to protect assets back then. Again, there's no more spend down in California. They only look at income now. And I bring all this up because sometimes people forget that they have us to help them. You've got a loved one who's, digressing rapidly, having issues. It could be memory issues. It could be health issues. It's getting harder and harder for, mom to take care of dad, or for the kids to take care of mom or dad, or they land in the hospital. That's a red flag. That means call us. Know what your rights and options are. It doesn't even cost a dime to know it. Just call and find out what your options are. There's even programs that we can use, the nursing home Medi-Cal program, to get sometimes in excess of $4,000 a month for in-home care, depending on, the level of care and stuff like that. So we walk people through that.
Yeah, and we realize how very, very delicate and sometimes stressful a topic or a conversation this is. A family member of ours, it became time for us to intervene on this when our beloved family member was driving somewhere and ended up nearly an hour away and was lost. And eventually, at least they pulled into a gas station. They knew they were lost. A police officer came and kind of helped and went into their phone and just started calling family phone numbers in there. But it's difficult because that the person might still want their individual time. They might say, I'm fine, I don't need the help. So it can become, it depends. Yeah, it's difficult. And we're just letting you know that, first of all, as a resource, Dale here, let us help you through the numbers, the financial aspect of it. Maybe there's help. Maybe there's assistance. Maybe there's somebody who can. There's programs stopping by the house, a few times a week, or we're looking for a place to go. What are some of the solutions, Dale? Because it becomes very stressful on the entire family.
Right. I mean, even recently, I've had a couple different families with loved ones who maybe they're declining with memory issues, and they're already in a facility, or, they're basically they need help. So what programs can help pay for in-home care? There's the in-home supportive services IHSS program, and sometimes people think, no, we make too much money, or we have too much money,
Yes.
we can't get it. But many times they find out, no, we can show them how the rules work. And especially if they're married, then the one who needs help, like what was it recently? The wife needs help. Her income's pretty low. He's got a big pension and all that. None of his income is viewed in getting her on the program to get in-home care for mom. So what a relief it was to the family, because they were told by others that, oh no, your income's too high, you can't get Medi-Cal. But there's proper ways of going after that program, so where they don't look at both incomes, they only look at the one who needs the care.
Okay.
So,
All right. So,
so there's
even
a
if you're-
variety of things, So if you have the situation, bottom line, a loved one's declining, you're taking care of a parent, a spouse, a loved one, what do we do? Just get a hold of us.
Mhm.
We know the ins and outs and the options. There is even VA money that's tax-free that can help keep the veteran and or the surviving spouse of a veteran, with some in-home care or money for assisted living. So there's a variety of things that people need to know, just to know their options and not panic about we're going to spend all the money.
But the
down to
panic is
nothing.
real. What I want to say for
Yeah,
the
it's
listeners
real.
out there, it's I understand. I empathize with it. The fear of either the parents running out of money, or what happens if something happens to me or my spouse, and we've got to go through this spend down of our own assets. There are other things I want to talk to you about. So not only are there state programs and even county programs, you've said sometimes even just depending on where you live, there's a difference, that you are a resource here. But then there are also things, because we have car insurance, we have home insurance, but we can also use a version of insurance to kind of double or maybe even triple up what our spend is on our own life savings. Now, do you also like to make sure we've got tools for long-term care, or would you prefer to only find it through the state?
Oh, definitely. More and more, I'm showing people how not to think of or rely on, the Medi-Cal program, the state program. It's more about how to build your long-term care benefits into your income plan. So sometimes, the younger ones are retiring, and we have a system where their income's going to keep growing to the point where there's no way in the world they're going to be able to spend it all. It's easy to see you're going to be able to keep yourself out of a nursing home, pay for in-home care or some kind of assisted living cruise ship. Others, there's some tools. I'm not a big fan of buying the long-term care insurance and paying premiums every month or every year for the rest of your life, because you never use it. It's money out the window. So there are better ways to build it into your income plan. There are tools that even that you can have for lifetime income that offer a doubling system. When you get to a point of needing care, it doubles that income. Yet even that I'm not totally reliant on. I show people how to build their income or have a system down the road they can turn on some additional income if and when they need it, instead of just, and then if they don't need it, obviously there's more that passes on to their beneficiaries. So there's a lot of things people can do. It's just knowing the different options.
The knowing is what helps you sleep a little bit better at night. And I'm sure there's all kinds of questions going back to the front half of the show, people coming up to you at your table, at your Rocket event going, how much do I need to retire? And I love it. I really do. I'm glad to know that still is the basic question. And then when they tell you how much you have, I think the next question, usually when they're sitting in your office, is, am I going to be okay? Like, do we have enough? And if you're wondering about that, and if you're wondering how you cover yourself and maybe insure your nest egg, so you don't spend every single dollar on things like long-term care down the road, let's take the uncertainty out and just have a conversation. Call the phone number, set up an appointment. We'll get you started on your written financial plan for retirement and review all of the tools that you are using and the ones that you might not be using yet, because you just don't know that they're out there. Give us a call. Let us help you insure your retirement life savings. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. You can also go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com, and find out a little bit more about Dale and his team. There's a great trailer there. And if you would like to have a movie event at home with you and your loved one called the Baby Boomer Dilemma, watch that trailer and Dale can send you a link, and you can host your own movie event and watch why it's so important today to know all of the ins and outs and the concerns of today's modern retiree. But more importantly, just get started with a phone call, 833-856-1382. You're not going to interrupt the show. Dale and I are about to take a break, but that's going to go over to our call center, and we'll schedule an appointment. So you can sit down with Dale Soutas, your financial advisor, right here in California. This is Retire Your Way. We'll be right back.
Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Is having $1 million enough to retire? For years, many have considered this to be the goal amount to have for retirement savings, $1 million. But that's the $1 million question. Is that enough for today's modern retiree? Are you sure you've saved enough for a 25 or 30-year retirement? Are you concerned about covering large expenses, including taxes and long-term care? If so, you're not alone. But there is a solution. With a comprehensive financial plan, you can take control of your finances to help you achieve your long-term goals. With Soutas Financial, let us help you work towards peace of mind by implementing a complete retirement strategy. Call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial Planning right away to receive your complimentary written financial plan. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale at dale@soutas.com. That's SOUTAS.com.
Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Soutas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. The team at Soutas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Soutas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Come on, man. Take us seriously. Dale's got very, very important stuff to say today. Now, we like to have a little bit of fun. And
about gobs and oodles, right?
That's right.
About gobs and oodles.
That's right. Our technical terminology here. Yes. We get really, really high into the weeds with the Wall Street terminology. No, we do not. We like to. In fact, you know what's interesting is that it's not about the ups and downs of the stock market, which are important. It's not about alpha and beta and standard deviation, although those things are important. And it's even not just about like your own life savings. It's that there are so many different puzzle pieces for all of our radio listeners out there. I think one of the best things that you can do for us is helping us through some of these kind of client stories, case studies, without giving them away. Let's not give away the people, but I think this one was really interesting to me because it's not, this got to be extra complicated for you. It's not just the financial planning. They're actually a business owner as well, and they're wondering what to do next. So what was their situation?
Well, this one, private medical practice.
Okay.
But I have others who, from the same line of work.
I'm going to guess podiatrist, eye doctor, nose doctor. Plastic surgeon. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Brain surgeon.
All right.
No,
private practice.
Right.
That would be an interesting private practice that all they are is a brain surgeon. Anywho, private physician.
Oh, man, I can go on and on about different ones, but some are employed like physician assistants that I work with.
Oh, okay.
Some are restaurant owners. And some are, have their private
you mean business owners that you've helped with? Okay.
A variety. Variety. So this particular one came in recently, concerned. I mean, and he's, I believe, he's early 60s. Okay. So he's still looking, to work for another 5-6 years or so, depending on, stuff. Plus, there's other things like what's he going to do with his practice? Is he going to?
Well, that's huge. That's
sell it, or is sell the client base? Is he going to sell the building that he owns and things like that?
So there's a lot of valuation there because he could sell the client base, and there's all different ways to work out these arrangements where Maybe the person is somebody who they really like and they are mentoring, but they don't have the upfront cash to buy him out for the business. So maybe the person who would take over the business would pay this person for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years until they figure.
Right.
Maybe they don't sell the building. Maybe they rent the building, sell the practice. I mean, there's a lot of different iterations. Do you mind helping folks with that? Do you mind diving into that with the private business stuff?
No. In fact, plus we're looking at, well, how do you do it to minimize taxes the most,
Yeah.
So I had somebody who owned a business. He's already retired. He's sold. Actually, he's carrying the note on the building to the new.
Okay, that's what I mean.
The ones who are running the business. But in this particular case, this one came in with concerns about, their own retirement. Will the money last? The normal questions, taxes. What if the money drops at the market, and the volatility, stuff like that. It was interesting, though, what got him to come in, he said, was because whenever he talked to other advisors, they wanted him to buy long-term care insurance. That's the way to protect from long-term care issues. And if you've heard me, I don't like that stuff. You
don't like it. Well, none of us like it, but you mean you don't like long-term care individual policies?
No, and because you pay the rest of your life. If you decide to just fall asleep one night and not wake up the next day, it's a lot of money you threw out the window, right? If you never use it. So there's better ways to structure paying for care in your future by either including a system where you can turn additional income on, which is really what long-term care insurance is. When you show them after 90 days that you need assistance with 2 or more activities of daily living, like transferring, bathing, dressing, restroom, whatever, then, okay, now we'll start giving you this money. And it's just so much money per day, per month. Well, why not just have a system where either your income grows well beyond what you need in your later years, or you have a system where you can turn some additional income on and it'll keep you out of a nursing home, keep you at home or some kind of assisted living cruise ship, So that was interesting. But then we looked at the areas that he wasn't paying that I look at. Like we call it the blind spot, right? Yeah. What wasn't he seeing? And he saved quite a bit in tax-deferred money. He had IRAs and his 401k company that he and his wife, have sizable amounts in that. I mean, we're talking, what do you call it?
7 figures, 8 figures, sevens, couple of sevens.
Let's see,
couple of sevens, yeah, okay,
couple of sevens, yeah. And it's like, well, okay, you got enough there. You don't. Your spending isn't outrageous.
Okay,
you're going to have other money, but it's better to start saving max out your Roth versions, because that can be money that you play with down the road. You have plenty of money tax deferred. And so, it was a fun conversation. We're still in the middle of just gathering and starting to.
Because there's a lot to it. I mean, even just going back to the business alone, saying, are you going to sell it outright? Maybe he knows somebody. Maybe there's a mentor. I didn't hear if there's family or kids or anybody taking over that version of the practice.
Even if it's a I've seen ones, they have somebody working, in the practice with them, okay, that they're looking at, eventually, hopefully turning it over for them to buy out the practice. But then things change.
Yeah,
what if that person moved on somewhere else?
That person moved on. Now, that person might need to get a business loan to be able to buy them out. And how much is that client base of 300 or 400 or 500 or 1,000 clients, however many they have? How much is that worth, times what X? So there's some real valuations to do. You don't want to cut yourself up short for putting together your life's work.
Right.
There's the value of the building itself. Then you were talking about the savings they have. I would even want to go further into, and I know you don't have these details in front of you, is what are they saving into in those retirement accounts? What kind of funds are they saving into? You said the Roth. Can they do it into a Roth 401k? Or since they're a business owner, do they have a SEP IRA where I think they can put in a lot more, like something up to $60,000 a year? There's lots of different iterations. And you said this isn't the only private business
it's a variety, owner. No. And, with this particular one, either a SEP IRA, which currently you could put up to 25% of your salary up to, I believe it's now $70,000 a year.
Gosh. Okay.
401k, just a combination of things. But the savings part, I patted him on the back, and you did great. Okay, that part's good, but that's still a tax bomb in retirement because you're going to want to do things. You want to play. They don't have a pension. He's run a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll have decent Social Security down the road. So how to maximize Social Security for he and his wife? The money side's nice, but again, how do you plan better to, not line Uncle Sam's pocket? How do you plan better to make sure the income will keep going? If he passes away, to make sure his wife can keep going. All of those kinds of things. My team, we're still gathering the info. What he likes is with us so far is we're going to show him how to make sure he has a solid income plan in place and have plenty of money to just grab at and do other things along the way. So
one more thing to ask you, kids at all? Do you know if they have kids anywhere?
Yes, they do. And now some I run into have kids who may have to be with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a couple different families now where the kids have special needs and are going to be with the parents ongoing. So then there's coaching on how to set up with an attorney their trust that includes a special needs provision so that child's inheritance doesn't kick them off the program that's giving them benefits and medical and all that. So, there's more to what we look at than just here's a way to save money or here's a way to create income or here's a way to save on future taxes. But it's also how to make sure it works for the whole family in the long run.
Yeah. Well, speaking of working for the whole family in the long run, I literally just read an article on the Vanderbilts. Now, please don't quote me because this is what I just read and nothing is ever wrong on the internet. It said the Vanderbilts were once worth over $200 billion. And the current incarnation of family, each one of it less than $1 million per person of worth. Not knowing how to estate plan through generations. So it's not just this great business, this hard work this person put together, having enough savings, but do you want to leave and start creating a legacy? There are ways to do it, and there are ways to not do it where you don't want to run out of money for your next generation, for your family. Give us a call. Let Dale help you. It's just literally a conversation. Leave your wallet at home. Leave your purse at home. Just come in and talk to Dale about what you would like it to look like. What is your family like? And what are you trying to accomplish? Maybe we could do it sooner than later for your retirement planning. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. That's 833-856-1382. More with Dale Soutas when we get back right after this.
Do you know how much you might be paying in fees within your retirement accounts? Just 1 or 2% in hidden fees can eat into your savings and potentially hinder your ability to achieve your retirement goals. But how do you know if you're currently paying these hidden fees and how do you find them? Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial can help you find the fees within your investments and explore solutions designed to assist with minimizing them. Take control of your retirement savings so that you can work towards keeping more of your hard-earned money. Call for your very own complimentary Retire Your Way review and fee finder report. Let us help work towards finding, exposing, and helping to eliminate those potential hidden fees for you. Call Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial today for your complimentary fee review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
You've heard the phrase, you don't know what you don't know, and we believe it's especially true when it comes to retirement planning. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be overwhelming and confusing. So how do you know what you don't know? Social Security, RMDs, estate planning, investment risk. These are just a few of the many areas that a financial advisor can help you navigate. But what else don't you know when it comes to retirement planning? Are you aware of all of the tax implications of your investments? Do you know how to optimize your Social Security benefits? What about your long-term care and estate planning needs? We believe that by working with a retirement planning advisor, you can uncover potential blind spots in your financial plan and gain a better understanding of your options. Don't let unknown factors potentially derail your retirement. Call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial to uncover what you may not know about your retirement future and start your complimentary written financial plan. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale at dale@soutas.com. That's SOUTAS.com.
To get your complimentary Retire Your Way review, call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Great story there. I mean, that's the American story. Working hard, building up your own business. But then as you start to think about it, and I'm so glad they're giving you a few years to think about it, it's what do you do with that business? Is it sellable? For instance, I was talking to somebody recently. I may have told you about this. They had a large landscaping company. And I got to tell you, this guy was probably like 6'6", full head of gray hair, but I mean, he looked like a 22-year-old volleyball player. I'm like, this guy is cut, obviously, because he's outside all day long. He's working out, but he's like,
are you describing me again?
Again, Dale, the 6'6",
oh, yeah.
Tan, silver hair, slicked back, absolutely you. But I also knew just from talking with him that he literally was the backbone of this operation, even though he had lots of people who worked for him. He's like, I don't know how to value my business because I'm going to walk away from this thing. And I don't know if people are going to keep up the client relationships that he has. I don't know if they're going to have the same work ethic and all that kind of stuff. How do you help someone value?
That's typical. Yeah. Of the many different business owners I've worked with, that's a common concern. Mm-hmm. Some, like recently, they have had their business evaluated. They know what it's worth. They know what it could sell for. Okay. And my thinking for people, my caution of starting a business is the purpose of a business is to eventually sell it. Be realistic, okay? And if you don't want to be stuck in the middle of the business, doing all the work of the business, you want to start a business in something that you don't know how to do. Like if I started a shoemaking business. Well, I don't know how to make shoes. So that would be perfect because I can't do the work of making the shoes, but I can manage I can run the business, right?
Yeah.
But let's get off of that. People who have their businesses, typically they have, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a medical practice. There's such a variety of ones out there. There's so many things to consider. How are you going to get out of it and retire, let's say? Hopefully you enjoy what you do.
Of course,
I enjoy what I do, but you have to have a succession plan, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's the term. So are you just going to close it down and, hey, everybody, thanks for,
thanks for your time, folks. That's it. I'm out of here.
Or are you going to train ones to be able to take over what you do and eventually turn it over to them? Maybe, how do you do that? How are you going to sell the business? What if the persons who want to take it over are, they're young and they don't have the capital to just buy you outright? Sure, they can maybe get a loan and, pay you a lump, or maybe you're the bank and maybe you set something up to where they're paying you over time, and that's could be part of your retirement, at least for the initial years, right, as they pay that off. What if you own the building that the business is in? That's something that can be maybe included in the sale to the ones taking over, or maybe you sell it outright. There's just a variety of things that people need to deal with, that succession plan. But what if you're already in business and you have a partner? How do you make sure?
That's big,
Yeah, that's a bigger one too, because then what if the partner dies? Well, do you want their spouse as your partner that you're working with? Will that work?
Well, and hopefully these are things that you have kind of already knocked out these dents beforehand, because partnership ones are a lot more complicated. This was a private business owner.
Private business owners, as a majority of those I see. But if you are a partnership, we can put our heads together on having things,
Yeah.
properly structured that way too.
Yeah, folks. So it's not just about financial planning for you as a family and what do you do after work. It's what if you are the person who creates work for other people? What if you're the business owner? What is your retirement plan? And besides the fact, we didn't even get too much into it because I know you said you were going to send them home with some homework, but what are in the retirement accounts that this private business owner is using to get themselves to their retirement? What kind of funds are in there? There's all different kinds of offerings that are out there. Is it just using something that was offered down by his bank? Is it efficient? Is there a version of the Roth 401k? Should he use a SEP IRA? How are you saving for your own retirement outside of your business if you are a business owner? I really fear that this is something that is neglected because you're so focused on your business, Dale. And you're like, well, my business is the retirement. Whew, that's a lot of risk. That's a lot of pressure on your business. And what happens if it doesn't work out?
Yeah, in the cases of the ones we're talking about, like a medical practice and such, the one I was picking on recently or working with, anyway, he has been saving, like we said, 7 digits, multiple 7 digits, in tax-deferred accounts, but a lot of them are on the market and they're fluctuating. And that was part of his reason to say, hey, is this going to, I'm getting close to retirement. The market could drop a lot, and do I have to keep working? Things like that. That's a common concern of people, whether you own a business or not. But so how to position things better for their future, because he doesn't have, a pension. So how do we set things up? How do we make sure they know that their income will work?
Yeah.
That's a concern. But again, there's so many variables, and that's what's fun about what I do, because everything's different. So I tease, I say, the reason I have the Kleenex on my desk is sometimes I have to think and it hurts.
Oh, nice going. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that one was coming. But here's the thing. We started out today's program with there are a lot more Americans who are working longer today, whether you are a business owner, whether you are working for somebody else and wondering how quickly, how soon, how long it's going to be until you're able to walk away and retire. It's a guessing game until you start doing the math. But do you have the proper inputs? This is something that Dale does every single day in his offices. This is what he does, is help untangle your personal knots and figure it out. Maybe you can retire on time. Maybe it'll take a little bit longer. Maybe you can retire sooner than you think. Dale, you were going to say that about halfway through the show. Say it's not just on time, maybe even a little bit earlier if you're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have $1 million, I can't retire. So what? I mean, there's many people I've worked with, they didn't even save half of that amount and are very happily retired. They can do what they want when they want because we've dialed in their retirement plan according to their lifestyle. They can still live the way they enjoy living. Then you got people who have well over $1 million. And likewise, sometimes I have people that, they have, maybe they have gobs and oodles of money, as we call it. But maybe their lifestyle is such that they still need to work because, what they need to sustain that lifestyle is going to be more than what we can create right now with that savings. Or maybe it's more than enough and they can retire early. So again, to say, can you retire now or later or, sooner or later? Who knows? Sit down, let's put our heads together and just don't ask me to do what you do for a career because I'd mess that one up.
Yeah.
I do know how to help people this way, and I really enjoy it. And we sit down together. We have, a good time putting our heads together.
Well, that's actually a bigger message for me is that here's this great private physician. You've said restaurant owner. You've said you've had somebody who had, a service-based industry. Look, all of you are amazing at what you do. Or maybe you're the home care technician, or maybe you've worked for the government or for the city, or just you've worked a good job your entire life, but you're not expected to be an expert in retirement planning. No one expects. Dale is not an expert at whatever your job is. I guarantee you he is not, nor am I. But what we do every single day is talk about retirement planning, putting together these numbers, putting together strategies for you. So please don't feel either A, like you should know this stuff, B, like it's overwhelming, or C, I'll kick the can down the road and I'll take care of this later. How about let's get started sooner rather than later, so you can start enjoying that retirement lifestyle, or at least start enjoying visioning it, seeing what it could look like. Wouldn't you? I like when you say this, Dale. Wouldn't it be better going to work knowing that you're doing it by choice instead of because you have to?
Oh, that'd be good too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
knowing that we're on track. All I got to, I don't want to say put it on automatic, but say just keep doing what I'm doing, keep working what I'm passionate about. And I know that in a couple of years, I'm going to be able to be retired the way that I want to.
Well, something simple. One couple I know, he loves his job. It's fun. He goes to work, enjoys it. No big deal. His worst day of the year is his wife's best day. Her job's very stressful. They don't need the money. And he keeps telling her, hey, let's just retire. You can. And you don't need the money. You don't need the stress. You don't need that weighing on your health. So, it's, again, different people, different needs, different concerns. So I'm working with them to show them she can retire now, not later.
Yeah. And folks, let us help you with that. You can reach out to the phone number. We'll get you started on your own written financial plan for retirement. It is no cost to you. Leave your credit card, leave your purse at home. It is not about a cost or a charge. This is a conversation with your financial advisor, Dale Soutas, right here in California. All you got to do is give us a call. We'll set up the appointment for you. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or if you want to, you can go to Soutas.com and find out more about Dale himself, SOUTAS.com. You can also click on that little movie trailer for the Baby Boomer Dilemma. What are some things you need to think about for your retirement planning? If you'd like to see a complimentary copy of that movie, you can host it at your own house, no cost to you. Just reach out to Dale here. Thank you so much for listening to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas. He and I will both be back again next week.
As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale and his entire team of retirement professionals invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement plan review session. 833-856-1382 is the number for you to call. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your very own retirement review session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees and risk, or how to produce guaranteed lifetime income so your lifestyle and goals don't have to be changed with the ups and downs of the market or taxes? Call Dale Soutas with Soutas Financial and be confident you can retire your way. Schedule your own comprehensive and complimentary retirement review session. Don't just live in retirement, thrive. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and are not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio of securities, or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and legacy planning strategies with a legal or tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategy discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options. All rights reserved.